Greetings. For those who come into this Casually Yours, today is Monday, 26th of April, 2021. It is full moon day of the 6th month according to lunar calendar. Just this morning when I checked my email, there is news from a friend of mine in Canada. He sent the news from Thailand about 50 Buddhist nuns who caught the virus in Chiang Mai. The culture in the north is that they usually would eat sticky rice, and they sit around in a circle. They make sticky rice into a small ball-like, and dip into this fish sauce, which is central. Everyone would be dipping in this fish sauce. So I think that is one of the reasons why the virus spread very quickly. 50 of the Buddhist nuns caught the virus from one particular nunnery in Chiang Mai. I brought this news to us. We know, we are from Thailand, so therefore we are familiar with this story. It happened about 5 days ago. The word that struck me was the Buddhist nuns. So this particular friend was concerned about us Bhikkhuni, that we caught the virus. When we use the word Buddhist nuns, locally it would be Machi, the white robe nun, the one who wear white robe and observe 8 or 10 precepts. Mostly would be 8 precepts. Now, in Buddhism, we have 2 ordinations. One is to be ordained as Samanera, Samaneri, novice, lower ordination. Then the other step is higher ordination, which is Upasambhada. Upasambhada is for a person to become, if they are male, then they become Bhikkhus, and for the women, then they become Bhikkhunis. There are these 2 levels of ordination prescribed in Buddhism. But usually we also say the white robe were ordained, but actually technically they are not ordained. They are just women who are religious. They are religious, committed religiously, and they would like to remain in robe, but they wear white robe. When I said robe, it is not jivara. It is just a long piece of cloth that they wrap around themselves and open the right shoulder, shave their head, and some of them remain for 30, 40 years. My grandmother was a Machi. She was actually the chief nun in her temple in Bangkok. But technically they are not considered ordained. So this brings about explanation about different levels of ordination. For Samaneri or Samanera. Samanera for male, Samaneri for female. This is the lower ordination, what you call novice ordination. They take 10 precepts. They take 10 precepts and they receive ordination from their teacher, who for the male that should be from a monk, and for the female that should be the Bhikkhunis, just to give them the lower ordination. They take 10 precepts and stay within the monastic boundary. Generally for the male, when you talk about novice ordination, you would think of young boys, 7 years old, from 7 years old upward, then they can receive novice ordination up till they are 20. And when they are 20, then they can receive full ordination. So when you consider from the male side, it is age that makes difference between receiving novice ordination or receive full ordination to become bhikkhus. But for the female, it is different. From the female, we cannot enter into bhikkhunihood right away. Whatever age we are in, we have to first take ordination as novice. Take the lower ordination first, and then for 2 years we remain. Then after 2 years, then we receive full ordination. Now, within Samaneri, we have yet another commitment. Those Samaneris, those female novices who are committed to to continue on this path to become bhikkhunis eventually. Then they commit themselves and declare themselves as Sikhamana. Sikhamana means, I would explain, intensive samaneri, intensive female novice. Now, once when they have to be admitted by the Bhikkhu Sangha and Bhikkhuni Sangha. This is the difference. For the samaneri, they can be ordained only from their master, could be one monk, one Bhikkhuni. But for Sikhamana, they have to be declared in the Bhikkhuni Sangha, community of fully ordained nuns, and then community of fully ordained monks. And the place where they receive ordination must be in Sima, within the boundary, within the declared boundary for the Buddhist. Whereas for samaneri or samanera, ordination can be done anywhere. So it means that once you become Sikhamana, the requirements are more strict. Why? Because the Sikhamana is, candidates to become fully ordained. Now within these two reigns, two vasas, within these two reigns that they have to remain as Sikhamana, they have to keep intact the 6 precepts. These 6 precepts are called Anudharma. Anudharma is the 10 precepts. It is within the 10 precepts. The first 6 of the 10 precepts, they have to keep intact without breaking. If they break one of them, then they have to start counting these 2 reigns anew. They have to start from the beginning again. So this is the requirement for the Sikhamana. In Sri Lanka, they are not sure about this Sikhamana, so therefore they give ordination samaneri, remain for 2 years, and then they get full ordination without this Sikhamana. But in Thailand, we have been suggested by senior monks, learned monks, that if you want to become fully ordained as bhikkhunis, there must be this Sikhamana, stage of Sikhamana for 2 vasas. So therefore, at Songkham Kalyani, at our temple, this is the first place in Thailand that started Sikhamana, introducing Sikhamana. So for our samaneris who are sure to continue on this path, then they take Sikhamana and they remain Sikhamana for 2 vasas before we prepare them to go to Sri Lanka, to go to India to receive full ordination. You might ask, why can't they receive ordination in Thailand? Well, the Thai Sangha had sent an order that no ordination for women should be done. No ordination for women in Theravada should be done in Thailand. So therefore, that's why we have to travel outside to Sri Lanka or to India to receive full ordination. So you understand that there are 3 different kinds of ordination for us women. First is samaneri. If a young girl, maybe 7 years old, 9 years old, can already be ordained as samaneris. But if they want to really continue on for bhikkhunis, you must be at least 18. Take ordination for 2 vasas and then you become fully 20. At that age, you can ask for full ordination. So these are the 3 different stages of ordination for the women in Thailand. So I hope I have explained clearly. But for the monks, if they are 20 years old, they can receive full ordination right away. But within that full ordination, that is done the same day. Also, the first step is to take ordination as samanera, as novice. But they continued on. The rituals or the Sanghakama continued on, so that people who look from outside do not realize that there are also 2 steps of ordination within the ordination for the monks. So I hope that I have somehow explained to you different stages of ordination. So thank you so much for your interest.
Buddhang saranam gacchami. Buddhang saranang gacchami